Hi, we're here with Carl Tannenbaum, Chief Economist of Northern Trust. Carl, great to see you.
Good to be with you.
So 2 years ago, the United Kingdom voted to exit from the European Union. Where do things stand today?
Well, 2 years would seem like a long time, but precious little has been done to redefine the relationship between the European Union and the United Kingdom. During that interval, the UK negotiator for Brexit, as it's called, spent a grand total of 4 hours discussing matters with his counterpart from the European Union. They were able to agree on a transition period to the new relationship after the agreement is reached, but on the terms of the agreement and what kind of commerce will be done between the two sides, almost nothing has been decided.
How has all this affected the British economy?
Unfortunately, the uncertainty surrounding all of this has led firms operating in the United Kingdom to try and find contingency plans to do business elsewhere, so they've been moving headquarters and staff and operations onto the continent of Europe. The sterling, the United Kingdom currency, has depreciated, which has robbed UK citizens of purchasing power, and the markets have been beset by uncertainty, which has really limited the progress in the UK equity markets relative to those elsewhere in the world.
What do you see as some of the possible outcomes of these negotiations?
They sort themselves neatly into three groups. One we call a soft Brexit, where somehow they manage to sustain a lot of the relationship that they've had up until now and preserve a lot of the supply chain management and the commerce, the good commerce that they've shared over the years. There's a middle ground, which they call a hard Brexit, where the United Kingdom steps back a little bit more, but in an orderly way. And given the transition period, they may find a useful equilibrium that gives them a little more sovereignty, but still preserves some of the good relations that they share with their neighbors across the Channel. The last outcome is the one that we all fear, which is called a cliff's edge, where no deal is reached. And as a result, next March 31st, there is absolutely nothing to govern the state of relations between the UK and the EU. That means that commercial airplanes may not be able to fly back and forth. Citizens working in other jurisdictions may not be able to sustain their employment, and a long list of other inconveniences that would have to be sorted through.
What is your expectation on how this will work itself out?
Europe has a habit of finding resolution when it reaches the 11th hour. And I still think that that's going to be the case, even though the deadlines are coming up fairly soon. But the risk is rising that they will fall off what we call the cliff's edge. And while sometimes climbers are encouraged not to look out over the edge, I would suggest that the negotiators for Brexit have a peek at the precipice, and when they see its depth, they'll hopefully pull back from a worst-case scenario.
Carl, thanks for your perspective as always.
My pleasure.